A point apiece in the first Edinburgh derby of the season, but it's now 12 derbies without defeat for Hearts. Encouragement though for Hibs. The men in green and white showing a lot more this week in comparison with the limp performance at Tannadice 7 days ago. But 4 points from 2 games for the Jambos. I don't think they'll be complaining too much. Andrew Driver with the opening goal of this contest, a mistake by Alan Maybury. Then Lee Griffiths with his big derby moment on the stroke of half-time. And so it is finished at Easter Road. Hibernian 1, Hearts 1.
And thanks to Derek Ray and to Craig Burley. More live football from the Clydesdale Bank here on ESPN next Saturday. It's a big day for Ross County. Having played their way through all the divisions to the top flight of Scottish football, they'll have a crack at the champions. It's Ross County versus SPL champions Celtic next Saturday. Pre-match coverage from 11:30. And then 2 weeks today, it's the first of 10 Rangers SFL Division 3 matches that will be live here on ESPN this season. Rangers away at Berwick Rangers. On the back of Hibs 1, Hearts 1, let's take a quick look at the SPL table. No game for Celtic this weekend. They played Real Madrid in Philadelphia last night. Hearts joint top, Hibs are bottom, but they will take encouragement from today's result. Look for the zeros. Teams looking for their first win, teams with zeros in the defeats column. Today's SPL game at Easter Road finished up 1-1. Both teams will take positives out of this result. Hibs will be the happier of the two, perhaps, and the post-match reaction from players and managers is on the way. Is live here on ESPN. Hibs 1, Hearts 1 in the SPL. That was the final score at Easter Road. For Hibs, some of the agony is over. Haven't beaten Hearts for 3 years, but they didn't lose today. Reaction now from the Hibs dressing room. Let's hand over to Darryl Curry.
Well, Ray, many thanks. Captain James McPake, goal scorer Lee Griffiths are with me. Well, James, first of all, it's a draw at the end, but do you feel maybe perhaps you should have had the 3 points today?
Yeah, we're disappointed. And that goes a long way for last season, where our Hearts were always had the better of us, but I thought today there were one team out there and it was us. We went at them from the off. I think we had one chance really. Mabes was unlucky. I thought he was excellent all game and he gave us a bit of experience in there, but those things happen in football. But it's good that we're disappointed with the draw because we thought we should have won that game.
Yeah, after the Scottish Cup final and everyone talking about that in the build-up to this game, when that goal went in and brand new signing makes a mistake, was it important the heads did not drop? Yeah,
we knew they wouldn't. It's a different team this season. Again, Gary Deegan's come in, who I thought was excellent as well. Gave us that bitty bite in midfield. He was everywhere. He helped Wee Lewis as well. But there was no way we were going to drop our heads. There's no way that they're going to walk over the top of us from now on.
And what about this man next to you? A great goal, hit the post as well. He was everywhere today, Lee Griffiths, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was outstanding, as he is every week for us. He works his socks off. Pops up with important goals, and he's popped up with another one today. Thoroughly deserved it, and he's unlucky with the one that hits the post, and another day that goes in. But overall, he gave us a great performance.
How much did you enjoy that goal?
Oh, I loved it. I've been waiting 21 years to score that goal. It was unfortunate we got the draw, but like James said, we played our hearts out today, and there was only one team in it.
Stuff of dreams, eh?
It was actually. Obviously, I couldn't do it in the Scottish Cup final, but I managed to do it here in front of Hearts fans as well, which is something I've dreamed about.
Was revenge on the mind today ahead of this for you?
No, I don't think it was. Obviously, last season was last season, and obviously this season we wanted to start afresh, and obviously with new faces coming in, we wanted to establish ourselves. And like James said, there was only one team in it. We limited them to very few chances, and the one chance he got, they scored. It was our mistake, but we've had very few chances as well. Obviously, James had a good couple of headers, and half hit the post, like you say, but I've managed to squeeze one in just before half time.
Just let me ask you about an incident in the first half as well, James. It looked like when David Templeton went down, he seemed to catch you. What was your take on it? He seemed to throw his leg out, perhaps?
Yeah, no, it's a boot. Maybe it's not the nicest of tackles for me, and probably rightly so a foul, but you just can't boot somebody. But that's not for me to say. That's up to the referee and whoever looks back on the game. That's their decision. It's not something I'm going to worry about.
OK, appreciate that. You are the Clydesdale Bank man of the match today. Outstanding. Lee, would you mind handing that over to James?
Yeah,
cheers, mate. Yeah. Thank you.
Well played.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Billy Brown and Stephen Craigan watched the game. OK, what's your verdict? Fair result?
Yeah, well, I think they may be right. I think Hibs shaded the game, really. But all round it was a far better performance. A lot more spirit, a lot more heart. And if I'd been with Hearts today, I'd been disappointed that they created very little. You know, they've got a goal from a mistake, but apart from that, they didn't do much at all. And Hibs probably shaded the game and deserved to win it, I think.
Yeah, after the demolition derby, it's progress for Hibs, isn't it?
Well, it is. You know, we were quite critical before the game about, you know, lack of commitment in previous games. They hadn't won a derby for 3 years. You know, how would they fare? Would they lie down? They didn't. And, you know, and going behind showed great character from them as well. They come back into the game, come out the second half. I felt second half they probably would have the momentum because he scored right on half time. You know, that's when you want the game to continue. Probably half time came at the right time for Hearts. They could regroup. But John McGlynn will be hugely disappointed. You know, his first derby as full-time manager. He probably expected a little bit more from his big players. You know, we built up John Sutton, we built up David Templeton, and I thought they were quiet today.
Yeah, from a Hibs perspective, going the goal behind as they did, a right kick in the teeth. So for their response, and this is, well, they've contributed to their own downfall here. This is a terrible mistake.
And sometimes when things like this happen, the players think, oh no, here we go again. And then the negatives start to kick in, but they didn't. You know, the fans stayed with them. The fans appreciated they were trying a little bit harder, which should be natural. But again, you know, last season they conceded 67 goals, second worst defensive league record in the league. And today again, you know, it's their own fault.
Alan Mabry's a very experienced player. I guess he will know that he should have just got that sort of way out the way or out of play or played a little bit harder back. That was a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it was an easy header back. I didn't think he had to go for a corner there. If he'd headed it firmly, it went straight to the goalkeeper. But he did play well, and he did give them a wee bit of assurance there on that side. You know, and his whole game was good. He was enthusiastic. He was never out of position. So in general, he did well, and he just made the one mistake. Luckily, it hasn't cost them, but he did do well, and it looks like he's a decent signing, Alan.
Yeah, interesting to hear Lee Griffiths there, because he was dangerous and he sort of started to get things going for Hibs. Remember when he got through and hit the post? You think it's a cross, others think it's a shot. It doesn't matter. It was a little bit of a catalyst for Hibs that they could do something, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he's got that in his makeup. You know, I thought it was a cross, but you never know with Lee. You know, he does take things early, and he's done that in training quite a lot. You know, he has got that, but it was a problem to Zalewskis and Webster. His movement caused them a problem all round. I don't know if Andy Webster tried to play offside there as well.
Listen, Lee Griffiths was up for the game.
Goal. It's a great finish.
Listen, he was up for the game, there's no doubt about it. But sometimes he's his own worst enemy about how he conducts himself in the park, trouble he gets himself into. But when he's in this form and he's making these kind of runs and he controls and finishes like this, he's a huge attribute to Hibs. But Hibs need him playing like this more often.
Billy, you've worked with him. What will that goal mean to Lee Griffiths?
Well, he's been desperate to score goals. I think he's been rehearsing his celebration for the last couple of years now. I mean, he is a Hibs supporter. He always wanted to play with the Hibs, and that'll be a big goal for him. And it might give him the confidence. He just needs consistency, and he needs to be tuned in every week, because sometimes his mind's elsewhere. But when he's tuned in like that, he's a good player, and his movement's good as well.
Let's hear from Hibs manager Pat Fenlon talking to Daryl Curry.
Ray, many thanks. Well, Pat, how much character did your team show today to come back from that goal down, and the way you conceded the goal as well?
Oh, I thought we showed a lot more than just character. I thought we were very good, particularly first half. We passed the ball really well, and like you say, we were on top and we conceded a sloppy goal, and we showed a lot of character to come back into the game, you know. But very pleased with them. I thought their attitude was fantastic today.
Did you feel it should have been all 3 points at the end, the way you were playing?
Yeah, I thought we deserved it today. I thought we were a little bit better than Hearts. I thought second half they came into obviously a little bit more, which we expected at half time. But you know, the players are fantastic today. They work right, the honesty, you know, in relation to keeping the ball. I thought we did that well, the shape of the team. So no, very pleased. Loving to pick up 3 points. Obviously, it's a big derby game, and I think the supporters have gone away a little bit happier than they did previously.
I noticed in the build-up to the game you had said that sometimes last season Hearts had bullied you, but with Gary Deegan in there today, it seemed to be different.
Yeah, he's a good player, Gary. You know, he gives us a different dimension in the team as well, and I'm delighted for him today because he hasn't played a lot of football, so you're obviously worried whether he'd last the game, you know, and picking up an early yellow card. He's done well to get through the game both ways, I suppose.
And a great strike as well from Lee Griffiths. He said he'd been waiting 21 years for that. He was immense today, his movement.
He's sensational. I thought he caused Hearts all sorts of problems running in behind people, and he's difficult to play against, Lee, when he's like that. He just won in the second half. I just hoped he would have hit it with his right foot because he's decent with his right foot as well, you know. But no, I can't fault any of them. I don't think. I thought they were all immense today.
And I know you said to me last week after the Dundee United game you're still desperately working on trying to bring players in and strikers. Well, we noticed Chef Kikuchi at the stadium today. Can you tell us anything on that?
I hope he enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. No, we're looking for players. I think, if we can add, a few more players to this squad, we're a decent unit, and we've got to try to do that. It's not easy. People think it's easy to do that, but we are working frantically to get players in to join up the squad.
Thanks, Pat. Well done today.
Cheers, thank you.
Are we seeing the seeds of recovery in Hibs today, do you think?
Well, that was better. It'll send the supporters home happier. I hope so, because as I said, we need a strong Hibs. We've got a crowd there, with Rangers going, we need people in at SPL games, and Hibs, if they continue to do that, the crowds will increase. So it's encouraging. Definitely encouraging.
It's a derby match, and sometimes things get a little bit heated, and it's unusual for it to be 11 versus 11 at the end, but glad to say it was.
We got there.
But in the first half, there was a flurry of bodies. Should David Templeton have seen a red card early in the game?
Well, we've been fortunate enough to slow it down and see it. And listen, the referee's position's fantastic. David Templeton's been caught. He's been caught a couple of times, but you can't kick out. We can see clearly that he's kicked out. The referee is right on top of it. So how will he call him? Who Derek says has been promoted to the elite referee.
It's a three-pronged attack on him. There was a challenge. There's a few more coming in now. There's another one. There's another one coming in here. There's another one there.
They realised he was a danger man. They had to try and close him down, but you still can't kick out. And I'm really, really surprised Willie called him. Look how close he is. He cannot see that. And for me, if he'd seen it, or if he'd made his mind up clearly, it should have been a send-off.
It does change the game, very early on if you're down to.
Yeah, well, without doubt, I know there was people flying into challenges there, but the only one that deserved a sending off was David, because he has lashed out at James McPake there, and how Willie Collum didn't see that is beyond me. It's blatant here, and there it's there.
I think
Hibs sticking out a mile.
I think the Hibs players got to him. I think we put him under so much pressure. Tim Clancy was always in his face. He was trying to intimidate him, put him off his game. I think it worked.
Yeah.
Well, it did work, because he did nothing really in the game. He started looked like he was going to do it, but he did nothing. And I thought Tim handled them as well as anybody's handled them. He played well today, Tim Clancy.
However the game was going during the second half, I think everyone would have been wondering whether someone was going to get a goal, whether it be against the run of play or whatever. Maybe someone was going to snatch the victory here today. There were a couple of second half chances that are worth taking a look at. But on balance, I guess you're saying that a draw's a fair result. That's a chance, isn't it?
Well, I think Ben Williams in the Hibs goal is thankful that Ryan McGowan hasn't hit the target. But both teams tried to push for the winner. At times, maybe they just lacked a little bit of quality. That was the league referee's turn and strike Pat Finn spoke about. He was lively, he was sharp, but he couldn't get the strike away.
It was a great turn that, though, wasn't it? A really good piece of skill. And if you take with his right foot, because Pat's right, he can finish with his right foot. He scored with a right footer in the semi-final against Aberdeen, through in that position there. So he can do it, but he's created the chances himself there with a good bit of skill in that.
OK, Hearts are unbeaten in 12 now against their local rivals, but I'm sensing that it's Hibs are going to be the happier of the two clubs.
I think they'll have taken more from the game. There was probably more question marks against Hibs getting into the game than there was Hearts. I think the most disappointed person will be John McGlynn, because he knows the players can do better. But Hibs went in, confidence was low, performance last week, so they're the ones that come out with all the plaudits. Now what they have to do is try and build on it. One performance is not enough. They've got to do it over 5 or 6 or 7 weeks.
I'm wondering, by the fact that John McGlynn hasn't appeared at the dressing room yet, I'm wondering whether there's a little bit going on in there, because he was unhappy at half time. He sets high standards. He might be a little bit revved up about the performance, might he?
Yeah, we're disappointed, because I thought the team was disappointing. They didn't play well there today. I mean, all credit to Hibs. They got up and down and they've challenged for every ball, something that hasn't been done in the past. Let's not just say that Hearts were poor. Hibs did a lot better today. But I mean, you'd be looking for more for Hearts. They're big players. You on about it, highlighted Sutton and Templeton, and two of them did nothing in the game at all.
Who would you pick out then, really, as the seeds of recovery? Deegan's performance, for example, as the guys were saying there, as Pat Fenlon was saying, the fact that he got booked early on and he's known as the Pitbull, Tasmanian Devil, Roy Keane and a Pitbull, well, I guess that explains that he's going to be absolutely sort of influential in the team. But excuse me, because we can hear from John McGlynn. Back to Daryl Curry.
Ray, thank you very much. Well, John, how do you assess that performance today?
Not our best, not by a long way. We never really got going in the game, to be fair, so credit to Hibs from that point of view. They never really let us get settled. But I think we've got to just say that a day where we've not performed very well, we've came here and we're away with a draw, and it's probably, reflecting on it, it's not what we came here for, it's not the way we wanted to play, it's the way the things panned out, and I suppose we've just got to accept it, take it that we've all played better than that, that's for sure. We played better than that last week. A debut for a few of the lads today, so a wee wake-up call. A lot to learn from that game.
I could sense your frustration when I spoke to you at half-time. Were there some choice words?
Yeah, one or two. I think it's the first time that I've had to go at the lads, because they've been first class up to now, but unfortunately it was always my worry, that off the back of a Scottish Cup victory, winning 5-1, and it was hard not to look at the Hibs game last week and think that, they didn't do well last week against Dundee United, and so in the players' minds, it's just you can talk to the cows come home, but it's very difficult to get through to them, and you can see that mentally the day we weren't just quite at it, we weren't quite right, and in derby games, I'll not be the first one to tell you, if you don't win your battles, then you won't win the game, and we've just got to say that we haven't done that today. We've come away with a point, and Hibs couldn't beat us on a day where we were bad, and we'll just have to accept that and move on.
There certainly were a few battles out there. I have to ask you about one incident in the first half. David Templeton appeared to maybe kick out James McPake. Obviously, a few Hibs players were calling for a red card at the time. What did you see of it?
Well, it was a bit of a grappling match, I think, because I thought there was a foul on David. He had caused him one or two problems at that time, and he was getting a bit of rough treatment, to be fair. And I've not seen it again on television, so I'm obviously you guys have, and you've got the advantage of that. It did seem that there may have been a kick out. Now, I think the referee, and I'm not just saying this, I think he's had a fairly good game. There's a guy, this fourth official. There's another two, assistants there. I'm sure if they all thought, and they're all talking to one another, they're all communicating, I'm sure if they thought it was, then they would have sent him off, So, everyone will say that Willie Collins, referees on the continent all the time, in the UEFA and Europe Champions Leagues and all the rest of it. So he's one of the top ones. So I'm sure if he thought it was sending off, he would have sent David off by now.
Thanks for your time today, John.
Okay, cheers.
OK, Billy, sum up today. There's John McGlynn sort of questioning the attitude of his team today, really.
Yeah, well, they expected to win, all known form they'll win, but far more encouraging from Hibs. Hearts will go home with a point, but a wee bit disappointed. But in general, playing poorly and going there and getting a point, at the end of the day, he's going to have to be satisfied with that.
Join top of the table. Yeah. Let's start the day for us from your side, Craigs.
Small steps from Hibs, but they have to build on their performance. One good derby performance is not enough. It's got to continue for the months ahead.
That is just about it for now. There's more live Clydesdale Bank SPL action here on ESPN next Saturday. It's a big day for Ross County, being played their way through the divisions to the top flight of Scottish football. They'll have a crack at the champions, Ross County versus SPL champions Celtic next Saturday. And then 2 weeks today, the first of 10 Rangers SFL Division 3 matches on ESPN this season. Rangers away at Berwick Rangers a fortnight today. More football coming right up there with Liverpool against Bayer Leverkusen, live from Anfield. Thanks to Billy Brown, thanks to Stephen Craigan. Can't have been much fun being a Hibs fan of late, but progress for sure today. See you soon. Bye for now.